While the immune system is predominantly cellular, there are a few organs we can talk about, mainly the thymus and the spleen, for example. I mean, we have all the lymph nodes, but the thymus and spleen we can really kind of pin down as part of the immune system. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Minke. This is Minke Wellness, and we're doing this wellness approach for the immune system. And like I've said before, the immune system is very cellular. It's all the little white blood cells and antibodies, and so it's there's really not like the respiratory system. Well, there's the lungs, and we can focus on the lungs. But there are these two organs, the thymus and the spleen. So thymus sits, well, let me show you, sits behind the sternum. So if you go to the throat notch up here and the stomach notch down here, and you go about 2/3 of the way down, there's the thymus. And people are talking about tapping. If you tap right here, the thymus, you can activate the thymus with that, just with the tapping, and actually get work on your immune system that way. So is it going to be like, oh, I do 3 taps and my immune system's good, we're all good? No, obviously we're talking about getting circulation into that area. This is a problem area for many people because of how we sit. You see a lot of people sitting like this, and I've just completely crunched down this area underneath the sternum. And it's not getting any circulation, right? So, getting posture aligned, getting the body opened up so that I'm not so crunched down. A lot of guys, are going out and working out and getting tighter and tighter and tighter, in terms of the workout, upper body workouts. And I see that pattern a lot. And then, it just happens with sitting too. We crunch down and we're hunched over doing our typing and stuff. So it's really, I think, an issue of circulation, posture and circulation that's more than anything that's affecting the thymus in today's day and age. So getting some massage, doing some stretching, open up, tapping, rubbing a little bit in here. This is an area I always think of in terms of grief or compassion, empathy, because you see something, oh, isn't that cute? We put our hand over that area, warm it up. Oh, isn't that? So it's this. We have this sense. I have this sense that there's a very emotional kind of center there, and I think that's maybe another reason that it seems in our modern world that this dries up so quickly. We've lost touch with our emotional and cultural element. You see all this rancor that's going on in today's world. It just seems so, everything's so everyone's so angry, and this, we just need a little bit more balance in our emotional response and our empathy toward each other. And I think that this, maybe if you want to think of it, the body having energetic places, that this is an area of empathy. And if we were to warm that up and get activated, tap, rub, get some circulation going. I like to think for an oil, I know that we've got different oils and stuff that we're working with this month, but I'm going to just talk a little bit about a few more. This is Citrus Fresh Vitality, which sometimes could be in your premium starter kit, but Citrus Fresh Vitality, this is labeled as a supplement, so taking it in water, just a drop in water, and then imagining that coming down and tapping the thymus and opening up. And I'm going to use the breath to go in here and activate this area and warm it up and get in touch. Just breathing to get in touch with this front area that's underneath the sternum. I mean, women are just as vulnerable. Men go out and work out in the gym and crank this part down. Women have bras that are designed to push the breasts together to make cleavage. So the cups are too narrow, and so that closes the sternum down. And so I think it's just been an assault on both to really shut down this area and have us not care. So anyway, that's my take on it. So I wanted to switch. So that's the thymus. What does the thymus do? It actually produces white blood cells. So it's one of the areas of production for the immune system, and of course that puts us in a weaker position if we're not going to, if that's not functioning, if we don't have good circulation through here. The other one is the spleen. It more houses. It's kind of like a large lymph node, not really, but it's kind of like the mother of all lymph nodes, the lymph system. The spleen houses extra blood. It's like a sponge, so that if we're in an emergency situation losing blood, it contracts and provides some blood for us to stabilize the blood pressure. It's located over on the left, so right side's liver, left side's spleen. This kind of stomach is a little bit more to the left. Liver is down here. It goes all the way to the back. But the spleen is going to be deeper in there. It's kind of tucked away underneath that left side. And so it's if you just massaged over here a little bit, you could find the liver. For the massage, I like to use massage to get in tune, in touch with something, and to enhance the circulation to an area. And so I'll use Di-Gize as something for the spleen. Di-Gize is got an oil blend that's particularly good for clearing out grunge in the digestive system. You would use it as a supplement to, in terms of, and the Vitality version. This version I would use as massage because it's labeled as a cosmetic. They're absolutely identical, by the way. I hope you understand that when Young Living labels a bottle as a supplement, a Vitality label, versus the one that's in this kind of bottle that's labeled as a cosmetic or an aromatic, are they a different oil? Are they no, it's the exact same oil. The only difference is the label, and you can take it up with the FDA because that's who has required a different label for something that is a supplement versus a cosmetic. And of course, we know essential oils can be both, and it's difficult for the FDA to understand and deal with that. So they have to make these other weird rules. Okay, so we're going to do, if I were to use the Di-Gize in this context, I would use it as massage, enhancement for massage. So I'd massage the spleen, where I would be going downward. Let me show you that. I would be going, down along the rib cage, bottom of the rib cage, and I would take some Di-Gize and do that massage. And of course, I'm up here at the sternum, so I might as well do the thymus and come down and just use Di-Gize for that. And then I would, like I said, use the citrus fresh, for example, put that in water and drink it. And imagine that coming in. So I'm going to breathe in to the thymus and just listen to it. Mine is actually pretty dry and crispy, even though I've worked very hard to get my chest open. So it must be different reasons for it. And also I know as you get older, the thymus tends to shrink and dry up. So I'm going to work on my thymus and then spleen, breathing into the spleen. And just getting in touch with that little spleen. And then I'm going to breathe in some goodness, some vitality, some sparkle. Breathe in some sparkle into my spleen. Breathe in some sparkle into my sternum, my thymus. And I can actually feel the difference for both of those. So if you haven't been doing the therapeutic breath with me, I encourage you to give it a try, especially in the area of the immune system, because of this scientifically documented, verified element of psychoneuroimmunology. What you're thinking about can affect literally the cellular activity of the white blood cells. And my position is, and I experienced this, is that that's true for all the body organs, all the body systems. I can actually influence every part of my body with a thought. The problem is I have trouble focusing that thought if I were to just say, okay, I'm going to think about my spleen. So I use breath to make that connection. And I see breath as the avenue that God puts life into us, and not only at the beginning of creation when he created man and woman and breathed into them, but he does that every day, every moment. I'm breathed into existence, God's love. And it says in the Bible that if God were to withhold his breath, I would turn to dust. I can't pinpoint. I know I have that Breathing for Christians audio on my website. You can go listen to that. That's where I put found that in the Bible, and it's very, very clear, the scriptural reference to that. So what I'm saying is this idea of breathing. This is not New Age. This is not this is just a way that I'm using to connect a very powerful tool that God has given us to bring spirit into the body, and the thought element of my will and my thought. And so I'm connecting those two with a breath and using that as a way to focus my brain, my consciousness into my body for good and healing purposes. And so that's what I call therapeutic breath. It's something that anyone can do with a single breath. And here we are, bringing sparkle into our thymus and our spleen and feeling that connection to the rest of the body in a single breath. Okay, so encourage you to do a little bit of this breathing, explore this. It's to me, it's been a fun journey over the years. I'm very, very good at it at this point. I've been doing it for 20 plus years. Anytime you do something for a while, it gets easier and easier. So initially, this is not just, it's not an easy thing. It's not normal. So you work with it. The nice thing is that you don't have to tell anyone you're doing it. You can literally take a moment, breathe. Someone thinks you're either praying or breathing. Not going to be, strange. If, as opposed to some of those other methods of tapping or doing acupressure or something like that, or even using walls for that matter. Someone's going to know, what's that smell? So I like to use the breathing when I, kind of in a context when I need to be private about what I'm doing, but I'm in a public context, sitting in an airport lobby or whatever. So it's always available to me, and it's always available to you. Okay, so that's the part about the immune system. We're going to just do things on a daily basis, make decisions, happy wellness, one day at a time.